Hey guys, David Patrick Green here with HackHollywood.com, and I've got another great video for you today. It's coronavirus COVID-19 day, I don't know what. It's freezing. I'm actually up in Toronto right now doing a little visiting, and it doesn't look like I'm going anywhere for a while. But today's video is about how, I don't love the coronavirus, but I love the inspiration it is giving to me because it's revealing so many truths about acting. And today's truth is how dealing with isolation makes you have to be more entrepreneurial in your behavior. And that's a total reflection on what it's like to grow and develop a professional acting career. So let's just get to the perfunctories very quickly. Please like and share and subscribe and click the bell for notifications. But let me tell you a little bit more now about what I'm talking about. We're all locked up for days at a time. Some of us are unable to even leave the house. Several of my friends were on vacation or traveling, and when they got back, they had to sign a document saying they wouldn't leave the house for 2 weeks. And even though that doesn't sound terrible, these people don't live in terrible conditions, it's like a prison, right? Because you can't leave. But what ends up happening is you don't know what to do with yourself. You get very demotivated, you get very lazy. You get into these situations where you don't know what to do, or because you feel like you're restrained in what you can do. And all of the things that normally distract us, going out to dinner, hanging out with our friends or whatever, they actually keep us from doing a lot of the things we need to do. And we use these things as excuses, and now you can't use them as excuses anymore. So now you are faced with the entrepreneur's dilemma, or the thing that makes an entrepreneur successful is eliminating excuses and doing the things that you need to do. But to do that, you have to plan. You have to create a plan. You have to be clear on what it is you want. So I really suggest to actors that they get extremely clear on what it is they want, because you can't develop something if you don't know what it is. And when I say develop something, I'm talking about developing yourself, because that's really the only thing you have to offer as an actor is you, the real person that's inside of you, that's dying to get out and dying to express itself. So what you need to do is look at what your day, how much time is in your day, and you have to start allotting time to the various times of day. Okay, so whatever it is you want to do, you need to write a list of all of the things that make that thing up. Okay, I would start with a major milestone list. So you could even start at the end, say, okay, this is where I want to be, and write something very clear about it. Try to imagine it as vividly as you can. Try to make it as real as you can, because if you don't make it real, you're really never going to do this, okay? You're just kind of kidding yourself. And this is something you really need to do regardless of coronavirus or not. But since coronavirus is here, it forces us to all behave in this way. It's like, what are we going to do with our day? How do we make the most of this time? How do we behave like real entrepreneurs? So create your main goal, and then create a series of milestones, half a dozen milestones that you think are necessary to get from where you are now to your ultimate goal. And don't worry about whether you're right or not. It's completely irrelevant. If you can think of 6 things between where you are now and where you want to be, write them down. And then just start with that very first thing that's on the list. So you're here now. Your first milestone is whatever it is. Then break that milestone into a series of smaller milestones. And then when you have that first milestone, so maybe another half a dozen milestones between where you are now and that first major milestone, and then create a list of things that you can do right now to get to that very first step towards that first milestone. Okay? If you need to break it up further into smaller chunks, you can do that. But what you end up with are a bunch of tiny things that allow you to not have to think about the big thing and get overwhelmed and get distracted and all of those things. But then you start to realize, okay, I have my list of things to do. When am I going to do them? That's when you get into the planning phase. You get your calendar out and you go, okay, here's my day. Here's the time I have. Here's what I'm going to do this time, that time, whenever. And you fill your schedule and your calendar to the best of your ability. And then whatever's left over, if there's any time left over, then you can allot that to doing, fun things, activities that normally suck up all of your time and cause you to end up saying, when somebody asks you, how's your acting career going? And you say, oh, well, it's going okay, but, whatever. Now you won't have those excuses anymore. You won't have those reasons that things aren't going that well, because you have allotted all of your time and you've put it into a framework that's really going to get you where you want to go. Okay, so that's what a real entrepreneur does. They don't put things on the back burner. They don't make excuses. They aren't in the middle of something and their friend calls and say, hey, there's a new restaurant, let's go, it's super cool. Or let's go to a new club, or let's go try this new, booze, or let's play video games, or let's smoke pot, or whatever it is you do to avoid doing the thing that you should be doing to get where you say you want to go. Okay? This will help you avoid doing all those things that keep you away from where you want to be. And then if you do these things, you will actually get to where you want to be. And when you get there, then you can enjoy the fruits of your labor to some extent, but you'll also realize that this thing never ends. I mean, because once you accomplish the first major goal, like let's say that's getting on, a major TV show or streaming service for the first time, you'll realize, well, how do I duplicate that? How do I make this happen more and more and more? And how do I get bigger and bigger parts, and so on and so forth? And you realize this is kind of how you have to start living your life, right? You have to start planning and scheduling. There's really no way around it. It's very hard to just sit back and think that things are going to come to you, even though you may see these things on occasion. What the truth is, when people are sitting back and getting calls and they're offer-only actors, that has happened because they have laid the groundwork for people to know who they are and people to understand what their capabilities are so that they do call on them. For instance, I didn't even have to audition for the movie X-Men Dark Phoenix. The producer and writer had known me from something else I was in. I didn't even know he was the director or producer of Dark Phoenix, but he chose to ask if I wanted a part in that movie, and I was like, huh? And that's how that happened. Okay, but I had laid the groundwork by developing all these other relationships, by doing all this other work, and I accomplished those things by doing what I'm telling you guys to do, which is to create a goal, create some milestones, then break the first milestone into tasks, and then start attacking those tasks. All right, guys, that's it for now. I hope this was helpful. Please give me a like, share. If you've got any questions, suggestions, or comments, put them in the section below, and I will keep bringing you more coronavirus COVID-19 updates and how it all relates to becoming a professional actor. I will see you soon. Bye for now.